So let's start looking at securing the switches through the use of usernames and passwords. Right now, we basically have console access to the switch. And as we just connect to the switch, we're not prompted for any username or password. And then we can get directly into privilege exec mode without a username and password also. So let's take a look at the configuration of this system, and we're interested right now in coming down here, line con 0 and VTY04. So con 0 is our console port. VTY are those that we're going to get to over the network via Telnet SSH. So let's start off with the console. So we're going to config. We're going to go line con 0, and we are going to do login. Okay. It says there, login disabled on line 0 until password is set. So pretty much walking us through the fact that we have to issue a password. So I type in the word password, and if we question mark it, we can see that if we put the number 7 in, then a hidden password will follow. And then if we just type in a clear text password, we just type it in. So let's just type in my pass. So now if we exit out, and now it's like we walk up to the device, plug in, hit the enter key. Now we're getting prompted for a password. So we've made it one step more secure. However, once we're on it, we can do the enable command, and we're not getting prompted there either. So let's take it another step. So back into config mode, and then we can do enable password, or there's an enable secret. The difference is enable password, when you put it in the system, will not be encrypted at all. With secret, it does it. So if we do enable password, and actually if we question mark it, you'll see same thing we had previously. So under here line, we're just going to go ahead and set my pass. We can also set the exact level, so we can say when somebody uses this that they're not at the full privilege exec level, which is 15, but we can step it down some. We'll probably get into that in another video sometime in the future. But we'll do that, and then we'll do an enable secret, and we'll name this my secret. And so if we show the running config at this point in time, here's what that difference was. We see my pass, and then here we see the my secret, but it is become encrypted. Now, a way to kind of secure this is through a command called service password encryption. Once I do that, and then I rerun the show run command, here you can see it did encrypt that password. So it's not as strong as this, so it's still not the preferred method. So you typically don't want to do an enable password. It's preferred to do enable secret. Alright, so at this point, if we exit all the way out, we have our my pass, and then we enable, and I typed in my secret, my enable secret password, and here we are in enable. Now maybe you want to have multiple users, maybe you want to make sure that not just only do they know the password but the username. We can go ahead and enable that as well. So I want to go in here and back into config T. I'm going to go ahead and add a username, and we'll call it CP, and we'll add a password for that person, and we'll call it CP pass. Okay. So now I have a username, but none of the authentication methods are referencing having to use a username. So if we issue the command AAA new model, that enables the use of the AAA authentication, which will cause us to be prompted for a username and password. However, we also have to issue AAA authentication, and where are we using this for login, and it's going to be our default, and we're going to use a local database. So let me back out all the way, and now you see we're getting prompted for our username. So we said our username was CP, and our password CP pass. Now here, if we do enable, we're just getting prompted for our enable password, which was my secret. Okay, so we enabled the AAA new model, the AAA authentication. Let's say we don't want to go that deep. We just want to go ahead and enable the use of a password for somebody to be able to telnet onto a device. Let's go to our other switch and take a look at doing that. So here, if we do a show run, we have nothing in here yet. Excuse me. We have our VTY with login. Again, if you remember, we talked about that being used for telnet. So if we try telnetting to this device, it just doesn't accept it, and that's because we need to put a password on that as well. If you remember, it was similar to the console. So if we go line VTY 04, and then we give it a password, now if we try telnetting to it, it works. It prompts us for that password, which I said is my pass. So that covers kind of the real basics of enabling the use of passwords and usernames in the Cisco switch. I'll go into SSH in another video since there's a few more steps involved with that. All right, thanks guys.